If you're relocating to Southeast Minnesota and deciding between Rochester, Byron, or Kasson, there's one mistake we see relocation buyers make every single week. And once you move, it's hard to undo. People don't pick the wrong house, they pick the wrong place. I'm Kelly Domaille with Domaille Real Estate at eXp Realty right here in Rochester, Minnesota. And my husband Bruce and I, we specialize in relocation, especially for physicians, professionals, and families moving here for the Mayo Clinic, for their work, or just their lifestyle. And here's the truth. Most relocation buyers don't regret moving to Southeast Minnesota. They regret where they landed and why they chose it. But before we dig in, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. We post weekly videos to help you move here with clarity and confidence. And if you're relocating, please drop a comment and tell me where you're moving from, because I read every single one of those. Now, most people think this decision is about commute time, or even price or school rankings, but that's not where the real mistake happens. The mistake is assuming Rochester, Byron, and Kasson are basically the same, just different dots on the map, and they are not. And if you choose based on surface level logic, life here will not feel the way that you hoped it would. And that's when regret starts. So let's start with Rochester. Rochester is the hub. It's where work happens. It's where the Mayo Clinic is. It's where the restaurants, the parks, the trails, events, and the energy live. And if you want walkability, shorter drives, and faster access to everything, Rochester delivers. But here's what catches people off guard. Rochester is not Minneapolis. It's not a big city pretending to be small. It's a medical-driven city with a Midwestern vibe. Now, some relocation buyers move here expecting nightlife, constant buzz, or endless dining options, and that expectation mismatch really creates frustration. Others underestimate how much variety exists inside Rochester. Northwest feels different than Southwest. Downtown feels nothing like the outer neighborhoods. And when buyers don't understand that, they end up in a part of Rochester that doesn't match their lifestyle. That's not a housing issue, that's a location clarity issue. Now, let's talk about Byron. Byron is one of the most misunderstood choices we see. People assume Byron is so far away from Rochester. They assume it's rural. They assume the commute is painful. And here's the reality. Byron is about 10 to 15 minutes to downtown Rochester. Traffic is light, the drive is predictable, and Byron appeals to buyers who want a little bit more space, maybe some newer homes, strong schools, and a quieter pace without feeling disconnected. That's where communities like Montgomery Meadows and the Summerby Golf community really shine. But here's the mistake. Some buyers choose Byron only because they think Rochester is too expensive, and they never ask if they actually want a small town feel. So if you crave walkability, spontaneous dinners, or quick errands, Byron can feel limiting. Not bad, just different. Now, people who love Byron, they value peace, community, and space. And people who don't often miss the energy of the city. And that difference really matters. Now, let's talk about Kasson. Kasson is usually chosen for one reason: price. Buyers see more house for the money. They see newer construction, they see lower entry points, and those are real advantages. But Kasson is also the choice we see most often tied to long-term regret. Why? Because buyers underestimate the daily reality. Their commute is a little longer. You drive more, you have to plan more, and spontaneity drops. So for some families, that trade-off is well worth it, but for others, it quietly wears on them. And we've had clients say, we love the house, but we feel far away from everything. And that's not something you fix with paint or furniture. So here's the pattern we see. Most relocation buyers decide too fast. They lock onto one metric, price, commute, or schools, and they ignore their lifestyle. Physicians do this a lot. Residents and fellows, they want the decision done. They just want it off their plate. They're tired, they're busy. They just want certainty. So they buy quickly, but 6 months later, they realize they would have chosen differently with better context. That's avoidable. So if you're relocating to Southeast Minnesota, download our free relocation starter kit below. It walks you through these decisions step by step before they become expensive lessons. And most people download it after they've already made the mistake. So now let's talk about winter, because yes, it matters. Winter changes how each of these places feels. In Rochester, winter still has movement. There's events, there's restaurants, there's indoor options. But in Byron, winter feels a little quieter. but cozier if community matters to you. And in Kasson, winter requires some planning, a little bit more driving, a little bit more isolation if you're not intentional. And people who regret their move often didn't plan for winter living. They didn't build routines, they didn't build community early, and people who love it here did. And that's a huge difference. Here's the real root cause of relocation regret. Most people try to recreate their old life instead of trying to build a new one that fits this place. Rochester won't be where you came from. Byron won't be a suburb pretending to be a city. Kasson won't feel central. And those are not flaws, it's clarity. The happiest clients we work with ask better questions up front. Not just how close is it to where I work, but where do people like me actually thrive here? And that question changes everything. So how do you avoid this mistake? You slow down, you get honest about your lifestyle, and you stop choosing based on fear or urgency. And you work with someone who lives here and sees these outcomes play out every week. If you're relocating and thinking, I don't want to get this wrong, you're in the right place. Download our relocation starter kit below. It walks you through Rochester, Byron, Kasson, and the trade-offs that most people miss. I'm Kelly Domaille with Domaille Real Estate. We live here, we work here, and we help people just like you move here with clarity so that regret never becomes part of the story. We'll see you guys in the next video.